On this day in Baptist history, we reflect on John Smyth, pioneer Baptist preacher, theologian, and founder of the First Baptist Church. On this day in Baptist history, we pause to reflect on the extraordinary life and profound legacy of John Smyth, a courageous reformer whose theological vision and unwavering commitment to biblical truth helped birth the Baptist movement, a tradition that continues to shape Christian faith and practice around the world. Born around 1570 in England, Smith's early life was marked by academic rigor and spiritual searching. Originally ordained as an Anglican clergyman, he became increasingly disillusioned with the Church of England's retention of infant baptism and its close ties to the state. At a time when religious conformity was enforced by law, Smith's conviction to follow Scripture alone led him to become a separatist, a believer who insisted on a voluntary that regenerate church membership based on personal faith rather than birthright or state mandate. Facing persecution for his dissent, Smith and a group of like-minded followers fled England and found refuge in Amsterdam, a city known for its relative religious tolerance. There, in 1609, Smith founded what is widely recognized as the First Baptist Church, a congregation distinguished by its commitment to believers' baptism by immersion. Smith himself performed the baptism of members, including the symbolic act of baptizing himself, a radical statement underscoring his belief that baptism must follow a conscious profession of faith and spiritual regeneration. Smith's theological writings during this period became foundational texts for the emerging Baptist tradition. In works such as The Character of the Beast and A Discovery of the Great Affairs of Jesus Christ, he articulated critical doctrines: the necessity of regeneration before baptism, the autonomy and purity of the local church, the priesthood of all believers, and the clear separation between church and state. These ideas challenged the religious and political establishments of the day, advocating for freedom of conscience and voluntary church membership as God-ordained principles. The church Smith established in Amsterdam was not only a spiritual community, but also a radical experiment in congregational governance and religious liberty. This model rejected the imposition of state control over the church, insisting that true Christian fellowship can only exist when believers voluntarily commit to one another in faith and obedience to Scripture. Though Smith's life ended amid hardship, he sought unity with the Mennonite movement and died in exile around 1612. His theological and ecclesiastical innovations endured. His vision set the stage for future Baptist growth, inspiring subsequent generations to uphold believers' baptism, congregational autonomy, and religious freedom. On this day in Baptist history, we remember John Smyth not merely as a historical figure, but as a trailblazing theologian and preacher whose fearless stand for biblical truth continues to inspire the global Baptist community. His legacy challenges Christians today to seek a faith deeply rooted in Scripture, lived out in personal conviction, and exercised in the freedom granted by Christ. Join us in honoring the life and ministry of John Smyth, a true pioneer whose bold reforms helped lay the foundation for a movement devoted to faith, liberty, and the proclamation of the gospel.